Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is for attracting a Cancer lover. And Cancer is a cardinal water sign. Water signs in general approach life from their emotions. So anything that they see can trigger within them a feeling that defines the experience. And sometimes they're taking it from their bank of memories. And this is especially true for Cancer, which is associated with the past, with history. So Cancer people tend to be very sentimental. If you're the kind of person who is forward-looking and you're not really that interested in what has come before, yes, Aries, I am specifically talking about you, but also maybe about Gemini. And, a lot of signs have a fondness for the past, but they don't live in the past. Sometimes Cancers seem to live in the past. They will reference things that happened in their childhoods. They may have very vivid memories of growing up and very fond recollections of that period of time. And other people can hear these things and think that there's something wrong with that they are trapped in the past. Of course, that's possible, but it's also possible in life to be sentimental and it not being a bad thing. And if you're the kind of person who doesn't value your history, your memories, that may actually upset a Cancer person. And they may feel like, there's something wrong with you or that you're insensitive. By the way, being insensitive is going to be a big thing with Cancer people. And that may be the one thing that they get you on, is you're insensitive. A perfect sign, I hate to pick on Aries, but Aries is a cardinal sign. And so even though water and fire are pretty incompatible in a lot of ways, in terms of elements, the fact that they both come from that cardinal modality can attract them. But the Aries person can be quite insensitive, I think, to just about anyone, but definitely to a Cancer person. Because Aries is blunt, and Aries will say what he or she feels, and they'll say, get over yourself. Cancer people tend to be moody. Not only because they're water signs, but just because they're ruled by the moon. And the moon is known for changing and being changeable. Remember that line from Romeo and Juliet, where Shakespeare said, "Oh, the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb." And when I was a teenager, I memorized some of Romeo and Juliet because I just loved that language. So I still remember it to this day. And that line about the moon is so true, because the moon children of Cancer do tend to be very moody. And there's even a word called moony, which I think means kind of crazy. But I'm not going to accuse them of being crazy, but when people have emotional shifts like that, they can be perceived by other people as being emotionally unstable. It takes somebody with a lot of emotional intelligence to be able to kind of navigate those choppy waters. So if you're the kind of person who gets very easily impatient with folks who are wearing their emotions on their sleeve, wearing their hearts on their sleeve, that can be a major clash between you and the Cancer person. Now, they may not even verbalize it or they might not even know that it's happening, but they feel bad about it. So you have to be the kind of person who can tolerate people who are emotional. And if that upsets you, another sign that could have problems with this is Libra, another cardinal sign. Again, air and water are not compatible elements in and of themselves. Any air sign, such as, besides Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius, a Cancer person will feel that they are too detached, that they're unfeeling, which is not true. But air signs have a bit of a distance between themselves and their emotions, and they tend to kind of try to intellectualize emotions. I think to some degree there's a good part of that, where, I'm saying that there's something to be said for that, because if you just identify with your emotions, you're taken on a roller coaster in life. However, sometimes it goes way too far, and the person is totally out of touch with what they need in life, because they're just on that mental realm and the mental level. They can't really be navigated by their emotions, which is a great way to find out what you really want. The mind produces theories, and theories are interesting, but they don't necessarily relate to what it is that our soul is craving at the moment. And the emotions are much better for that. The intuition is connected to the emotions. It's not connected to your intellect. And if you rely too much on the mind, I think that you can easily get led astray. However, the same thing could happen with the emotions. If anything is too extreme, the person can get led astray. And so there could be like a basic difference in how these two types of people relate to life. And so that is very important to acknowledge as you are trying to approach somebody like this. Cancer people are family oriented. So, of course, there are going to be some Cancers who never become mothers. I'm talking about the fact that Cancer in astrology rules the fourth house of home and family and mother. And I'm thinking of Deborah Harry of Blondie, and she never had children, but she was an artist. And so her songs, you could say, were her children. But I think that she's an outlier, and I think that most Cancer men and women want and have families. If you're the kind of person, I'm talking to you, Sagittarius, I'm talking to you, Gemini, that is kind of like, family is nice, but I don't know if I want to be bogged down with one. At least not until I'm about 45. Then you might clash with somebody who's a Cancer who wants a family as soon as they meet you. I want to make kids with this person. That's how their minds work. I want to make kids with this person. I want to have a family. And if family kind of like makes you break out into a rash, then really think twice about investing time with a Cancer person, because even if they don't want to have children or they can't or what have you, their family is usually going to fit prominently into their life, okay? And this is a big one that you're going to have to understand. You better meet a Cancer man's mother, because their mother, they may have a relationship with their mother that is a little bit above and beyond what other signs have. And if the mother is reasonable, then you're in like Flynn. But if there's like a problem with that relationship, if she has a problem with you, then that can be problematic, because it could be that mother-in-law situation, the mother-in-law from hell situation. And because the Cancer man tends to be a mama's boy, it's like going to be a lover's triangle. He's not going to give up his mother, and he's married to you. So you're going to have to love his mother if you love him. Now, if the mother-in-law, I mean, if you could find out what her sign is, then you can see if the chances are good for this. If she is like an air sign or a fire sign, except possibly a Leo, that could definitely, sometimes Leo mothers can be divas, and that could be problematic. Aries, I don't know, but usually fire signs are independent, and definitely air signs are going to be. So you will probably have less problems with one of those types of mother-in-laws for a Cancer male. The reason I'm being gender specific with this is because there's a bond between the Cancer male and his mother. And sometimes the Cancer male is the culprit in this, because he worships the concept of the mother. Now, if you become a mother, he will transfer some of that onto you. But the mother is usually going to be very important to a Cancer male. And that's just a fact of life. And if that bothers you, then at least get to meet her to see if she responds well to you. Because, of course, the ones that are bad, that have that toxic relationship, are the ones who are jealous of you, who are competitive with you for his affection, and who manipulate him. And you don't want to get into that scenario, because it's pretty hopeless situation just based on the dynamics involved. And I'm a very positive person, but it would take a lot for the Cancer male to see how he has to change. And I mean, anything is possible. That is true. Anything is possible. But going into it, you would have to address these things and know that they're there. Notice them. I think this is one of the big problems, is that people are oblivious, and then they're like, oh man, what did I get myself into? But anyway, Cancer people can be very wonderful in terms of treating you as a very special person. And so they are very good at giving gifts usually, because they know your essence. They know who you are. Now, they may get very offended if you suck at giving gifts. If you give gifts and they think that they're not personal enough and stuff like that. So I just want to give a shout out to Cancer people because of their sensitivity. I don't want to make it seem like it's all bad, because it's not. We need sensitivity in this world, because this can be a very harsh world, as we all know. And these are the kinds of people who have compassion for others. And they also like to help other people. So hopefully you're not a self-centered person, and you are willing to volunteer, to give to the less fortunate, to even notice it. And even if you feel like you're not that well off, if you can see that there are other people who are suffering more than you, and you're willing to feel blessed right now enough to help other people, that's important as well. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Take care. Bye.